Hello, my name's Jason and welcome to another episode of me painting again. Oh yeah. And in this episode, this very fantastic episode, well, I'm hoping it's going to be fantastic, is I'm going to be doing this picture that I posted on Facebook, if you saw it, and on my Instagram, at Jason Bowen Oils Instagram. And anyway, I thought it'd be interesting to show you how I did it, and I'll just paint it again and show you what I did, really, what I think I did. I can kind of remember. It's pretty simple. So, I'm on Photoshop 2018, and which I've got a subscription for. You need a subscription to use the new Photoshop. It's just the way they've set it up. But there are free software. There is free software out there, digital software as well. And I know a lot of people use them, and no reason why not. So I reset my tools recently, and I'm just deleting all of this because I don't use any of it. There's something missing, because I do use the other brush one. Maybe it's that one. Yeah. Let's put that back in there. Okay, so I tend to only use layers, these brushes, and this, so I can see what kind of brush it is. But on this I used one brush mostly. I think it was a flat brush or something like that. So anyway, let me just make myself a layer. So I'm just going to paint this, and then you can watch me do it, and I'll try and give you tips if I can. If I can't, then well, it's just me painting as always. I'd messed that up. So I'll say what I'm doing on the computer, because if you're just got Photoshop and you want to learn a bit, and you're using a PC, because that's what I use, then I'll be saying it PC, but it'll probably be similar. So I'm just shrinking this picture a little bit, so I've got some space to work. And I hold down shift, and then it doesn't distort it, because if you didn't hold down shift, it distorts your picture. Actually, let me just do this a sec. So why did I do this the way it is, for starters? I mean, I made it darker here in the foreground and went lighter towards the background. Yeah, pretty simple in that. And then I added a bit of warmth on the snowy areas of the mountains, and then I added this mist around here, which cleaned up my awful edges which were underneath these trees. And then I added a few birds, and a few birds were a simple idea of sending your eye towards the mountain, so you go wee to the mountain. So it's really simple, and it's quite a rough painting. It's just an idea, sort of a sketch. So anyway, let's make it small over there. So I'll use it as my palette, since I've already done it. But I'll show you what colours they are anyway. So I'm making another layer. I'll pick the brush that I used. It was one of these. Yeah, sort of a flat kind of brush. So first colour I used is this bluey colour. So let's make the brush a bit bigger, and I'll just put it across there. The skies. Like that. And now I'm going to click on this, and that creates pressure sensitivity. So if I'm light with my pen, well, it's really soft, and the harder I get, the more colour you see. So that's useful for doing the mist. But we'll come to that later. So I want to pick another one of those colours, and we'll use this softer brush. So you can either work in layers like this, and you keep making more and more layers, or you can do it all on one layer like you do in an oil painting or any kind of painting. So I'm just putting this colour in now. I'm using light pressure. There we go. Oh dear. Control, Alt and Z deletes that because I used a bit too much pressure. So I'll go a bit lighter. I just want a little bit of hint of that colour. I think I've got a bit lighter colour towards the horizon. Let's see. Yeah. See, it's a bit lighter. Something like that anyway. Now I want to put in the mountains. So before I go on, actually, I should tell you that what I like to do, I have an idea and then I'll just go for it, and then I'll look for reference. And I've found that more useful now, because the problem is I'll paint the mountain while we're talking. Have this peak like this here. Do something similar to what I did before. It's not going to be the same. Doesn't really need to be the same. It's just how I did it. So yeah, what I was thinking was, because I'm used to painting using reference, as in, like, say I'm painting somebody's dog, then I've got to make that dog, you know, exact. It's got to look like the dog. Can't look like their cat or your dog. It has to look like their dog. So they give you a picture, a photo that they've taken of their beloved pet, and you've got to create it exactly. So what you do, you paint it exactly using a photo. And because I'm used to that, what I was doing is kind of constricting my creativity, which was fighting to get out. And I needed to do something. And when you're a very creative person, let's have a really high peak up here, you need to use it. This pen, I've been using it so much, it's starting to wear out, and it's making funny noises. I might be time I ordered another pen. Something like that. I'm going to shrink the brush. Now I press Alt and the button on the pen, the right button on the pen, to shrink it. Now I'm using a UG 2150, and it's a bit of a Wacom knockoff, a Wacom Cintiq knockoff, really. It's similar. I like it. I want to upgrade eventually to a Cintiq, but for now, you know, it does the job. I can do what I want, and so I'm happy. So I'm gonna just make this a bit bigger now, just so I can see the mountain. What I'll do is I'll do this just to remind myself of what I did. So what I did actually do originally is I put my mountain in, and then I got some reference and looked at some mountains and different mountains, and then I was like, oh, I'll add some more peaks, and I really sort of pushed it with the peaks to make it more interesting. So I'm going into this pinky colour. I've just picked that colour and make my brush about that size. So I held down Alt again, and we've got the colour coming, the light hitting it on this side, so we can. Now remember, I was saying the heavier you press, the more colour comes off. And when you're used to something like me, like oil painting, or I do use other things as well, like markers and gouache and stuff, so I'm not just oil paint, but when you're used to doing things like that, when you come into the digital painting world, at first, for some reason, I don't know why, is I thought you had to do everything differently. I really did think that. I thought, oh well, I've got to completely relearn art and totally improve on what I know, and then I realised it's the same. There's no difference to painting on a computer as there is painting in oils, apart from you're using different tools, really. I don't know why I thought it was different, because it isn't. Might be just me. So I've gone into another red that I've used on that. I've just picked that colour, and I'm shrinking my brush, and I'm going to put that on where I want it. I know in some areas I left it off, and some areas I put it on, and I've just played around a bit really, and to get the effect that I wanted. So mine's quite pink looking. See if I can pick a nice orangey colour. I'll use another layer. One thing I like about using the computer is the fact that you can make changes a lot easier than using oils or whatever, especially marker pens. I've messed up so many pictures using markers, and then I've been like, oh damn it, there's another cartoon character ruined and unable to do anything with it. But at least on this, you have a lot of help. The fact that you can change things a bit. So, just having a look at what I've got. I had the mountain side a bit more blue, so let's do that. And I think about the brush strokes as well. I know I'm not using actual paint, but I think about like the mountain side there coming down like that, and then these gaps in here. Thinking about, like, if you was doing a mountain, say you was using the Bob Ross technique or another technique, any kind of painting really, you got to think about the angles in the picture. Thinking about them, it just creates it. By thinking of the angles like this and painting them in, it does create those angles. My pen is very squeaky. It's become getting worse and worse the more I use it. So I'm having fun, I'm enjoying it. I keep thinking about where I'm going with this, what I want to achieve. I think I might put a little bit of distance in there, and then I need to darken this to send that backwards. See how easy that was to send that back just by putting that bit of dark in. Okay, I think thinking about what I would want to do, I could break that up a bit there and shrink that area there. Quite like that actually. I'm not keen on this mountain on this side really. I might paint it out. I'm going to bring that down like that. I think I want to distance that. I'll make this easier on myself and just grab that colour and just paint it out. Grab that colour. See, easy. Paint that out, grab that colour, and then give an impression of something further away. Okay. Get that colour again, that mountain colour, and I'll just bring that there. Whoops. There we go. So that's back now again. I might... This is the colour picker where you can choose to either go more saturated in colour or darker or unsaturated or light. So it's quite easy to use. So I'm thinking, do I want it to be more like a light that I can mess around with? I want to break things up a bit because it looks a bit samey at the moment. So I'll get another layer and going to get some light hitting in places. I don't really like that one, so I used Control Alt and Z to get rid of that. Might have a little bit of light on this here. Okay, just sit back having a look at that. That looks alright. I'm tempted to have some really strong orange on as well. Not that strong. Just here and there. So I was thinking the other day about when I was at school, I actually used to draw on the computer. And this was a while ago. Quite a long while ago actually. I left school a long time ago, and but anyway, yeah, that's better. Trying to think of I think it was Paint. I think it was an early version of like Paint on probably Windows 95 probably, something like that. I think I'll leave that. yeah. So what I'm going to do now is quite a bit of so I've got everything on different layers, but I'm pretty happy with that. So what I do is I highlight all these layers, which are all mountain layers, and I right click and then I merge them all together. So now the mountains are in one layer, like this, and then the sky's in one layer. Just makes this work area a bit easier to use. So let's move this again, move it over here, and the next thing that I did is I decided I would put in some trees, because I was just making this up. I wanted to practice misting, so I thought I'll put some trees in, and I used the same brush and made it quite small like this, and I thought, you know, how would I have done it? I was using oil paint. Probably use this method where you do loads of trees by putting in lots of downward strokes. And then you can go a bit smaller. Like that. Can go bigger. Just use that as well. So I was trying to think of how I can make it a little bit easier for you to watch, really. So you're not watching me just painting for hours on end. Which might be fun, I don't know. Might get boring. So I'll try and speed things up a bit. So yeah, I did something like this, really rough, and then and I thought, if I shrink this a bit, you know what I was saying, if you hold shift, then it doesn't shrink, but this way it does shrink. And I thought, I know, I'll have that there. And then I thought, I don't really want to do that again, because I'm really just playing with an idea. So I thought I'll duplicate that layer, and then I'll move it over here. Maybe I'll make it a bit smaller still, and I'll put it there. Well, that looks alright. And then I thought, I know, I'll duplicate it again, and I'll move, oops. And then I'll put that over here, and then maybe I'll make it bigger, or maybe I'll reverse it like this. Maybe a little bigger like that, so it doesn't look exactly the same. And then and I thought, yeah, I thought I'll duplicate it again, and I'll move it over here, and then maybe I'll rotate it a little bit like this. But that doesn't look right, so we'll rotate it back. Maybe we can rotate it just a touch. Like that. Maybe there, like that. So then it comes down. So we don't want it to be all the same. So yeah, so I've got this layer of trees, and then I thought I duplicated that layer once more, and then I left it here, and then I merged these. You'll see why I did that in a minute. So I've got all this now on one. Get rid of that. So this is all on one layer now. And then I did this, create clipping mask, boink. So now whatever I do, it only affects trees, you see. So now I'll go into this, and then I switch to a soft brush, which is just a basic, I'll show you, a basic round brush. Well, that colour that I'm using is like the same as that grey. That's awful. Right, try that. Ah, that's better. So yeah, it's a round brush, and then it creates this sort of look. So, because we're on a clipping mask, well, we are in a minute. Create clipping mask. Now, when I use it, only affects this, which is interesting, I thought. Not really very useful. I didn't do that. Why did I just do that? I've been using clipping masks so much, that's why. So anyway, I didn't do that. Ignore that. I did this. I did use that colour. I used that colour, and then I did this, and that way I got rid of all the base of this using the soft brush. Now, if you hold Alt and then go up and down, you can change the softness of the brush, and I want it on full soft, so I can really soften things up like this. Some areas maybe you only want a little bit soft at the base. I just want to get rid of that base edge. If I shrink the brush down, I can really make this softer, give it a bit more control. But I'm okay with this. This is about right. And probably, really, if I look at it, I would want this to be higher to go in front of the mountain a bit more. Like there, probably. And then that sends that mountain back straight away. And also, while I remember, there's the mountain, we need a layer of mist in between. Now, I thought to myself, maybe I should use like a blue, a coldish blue, to create the mist, to work against this orangey pinky colour. And I thought it might look good, so I got my brush like this, and I just sort of softly started misting the cold air down here. Now I've probably gone a little bit colder than I did before, but see how that cold air really works nice against the orange, because of the orange is an opposite on the colour spectrum to cold blue. Therefore, they work together in harmony. It's easy, really, isn't it? So yeah, after we've done this and we've created this, then I put a layer on top of it, and I use my cold air again. Cold air again. Using it here. And then I thought to myself, well, I don't want these trees to be too close, so if I use a bit of this cold air, I can send these trees back into the mist, away from us. I thought, yeah, that does work quite well, sending it away. Like I said before, you can shrink it, you can mist areas more than others. Now maybe I've gone a bit too blue. So if you have, you can either down to make it less powerful, which kind of works, or something, you know, I use all the time now, hue and saturation. Probably oversaturated, isn't it? Probably only needs to be about there. About there. I would say that's better. Less strong. So then, what I thought was, I can hold down Shift, and I can bring those layers together by merging. And now I've got the misty trees together, and then I can duplicate that layer, and I can bring that down. Of course I need to use that mist, and then I can make it bigger, make it a bit bigger like that, like this, and then I can bring it, let me just put it there a sec, and then I can put it in front like this. And if you don't want it to look alike, you can kind of move them, so what looks, well, they look way too the same, so I think what I'll do is I'll flip it over, I'll stretch it out, and I'll have it, so I might close it together. Like that, and then I'll duplicate it. Duplicating again, duplicate layer, okay, and put it like maybe there, and then I can use the rubber, and I'll rub that bit out, so that there. And now I've got another maybe to there. So now I've got another area of trees. Now I can either go into that blue, and I can bring some of this further down. So I'm unmisting the mist to bring it further down, and then I can add another layer of mist. So I can just pick this mist out, beep, and speaking of that mist, I can see that I've lost some of it behind, so I'm just going to extend it a bit. So now the mist has come all the way down. So then, now, using the mist again, I can cool all this down. You see how how easy it is to create mist on this. It's so much fun. I really enjoy it, actually, creating mist. Because when I was doing a painting, it took me ages to create mist. Especially when if you paint traditionally, it takes ages. Or you can hammer your brush if you're using the wet and wet technique. And you can mist it out like that. No problem with that, is there? Okay, so now we've got two layers. And now I'm thinking, oh right, yeah, well that's quite good. Maybe I'll duplicate this again. Okay, and put that there. And I'll have this over here now. Now I can make it a bit bigger, stretch it out a bit, like this. And also, something else that I did. If you want it to look different still, you can get the rubber, applying the rubber, and you can take some of these out makes it look a bit more different. To get your idea. Because what I thought is, once I got my idea, then I can do a more serious one. And what I mean is, I can get some reference of a forest or something, and or of a tree afterwards, and then use that tree and just get rid of that. Talking and painting, it's so hard. Yeah, then what I could do is I could get that picture of the tree, and I can really. So I've just created another layer, just putting this mist in. So I'm not going to touch the tops as much now. I might just do a light mist like that, because this needs to be darker than the bit there. I can do things like that where you take it away, but don't do too much there. I'll just bring that down. I'll do one more layer. I'm thinking I can use this mist up here as well. Just take away some area like that. Yeah, I quite like that. I might add that back in there, using the rubber. Yeah, I quite like that. Just there. Yeah, that's better. So, I actually prefer this to my other one. I like the way the blocks of trees are. They could they almost look like buildings as well. Anyway, yeah. So what I would do is I'd get a picture of a tree, and I'd bring it in. Let me just duplicate this layer again, and just put it above here, and then let's put this like that. It needs something like that, doesn't it? Do it at a slight angle. Do I like that? Yeah, I quite like that. You can always ask yourself, do you like that? You know what I'm saying? Sit back, having a look. I always say that. In this, you can do something else. I'll show you. But you know, it's the same thing. Sitting back, having a look, or doing this when I show you. I just need to brush this out. There we go. I do like that. I'm really liking this. Yeah, so hold Control and the minus, and then you can zoom out and have a look. So you can have a look at your whole picture. There's a small one, and you can see, you know, the darks, the lights, the colour zinging out because of the blue and the orange. Yeah, so then I got to this stage and I thought, right, some more mist in. Oops, I always do that. I was using my mouse. So get some more mist in like this. I'm using, I actually use circles when I do my mist. Seems to make it better. And then do some light. What I did is I shrunk it, and then I sort of did mist go around like that. I really like that effect. Go around. I do like that. Kind of need to. I'm just getting a bit carried away. Need to be subtle at the same time, trying not to overdo. Don't overdo. Want to be really subtle. Yes, that's better. It's more subtle, isn't it? So, the next stage, I thought to myself, this is too cold here. It really is too cold. And I grabbed some of the orangey pinky colour, and I thought to myself, I'll create another layer and I'll use this to warm areas up. Maybe some of the light that's lighting up the mountainside is breaking in and it's attacking the mist and warming it up. So the mist that's coming round is warming places, not everywhere. Don't want to warm the whole thing up, just areas. And it almost creates this really nice walkway, which was what my idea was. So you put it in areas a little bit, but in some areas a lot, because that's your walkway. And then I remember thinking it needs a bit up here as well, a bit more of the warmth on the horizon. So there we go. And then I thought, how can I sell this a bit more? And I thought to myself, I know, if I put in a few little birds, that would work. So I got the little brush, I shrunk it down like this, zoomed in, control and the plus. I thought, get some little birds in and get some in, and I want them to go this way, like that. If I zoom out, they go in like that, and then they probably need to, I'll just put some dots so you can get an idea that they're coming that way through the trees. Maybe there's one going that way, that one there, and then maybe there's one there as well. Just lighten that bit there, lighten one side of the wing a bit. So yeah, they're sort of coming through the trees, and that automatically makes your eye go, wee, ooh, mountain, interesting. So then, what I did is I got some of that dark, and I thought to myself, maybe I should detail some of the trees, so that's something you could do as well, if you wanted to get in there and, oops, just pick in the colour. That colour, and you can start going in and giving some of the trees a bit more detail wherever you wanted. So that's what I thought about, and put it below the mist. I forgot to do that. So you design your trees how you want. Maybe they're not pine trees, which is what these are tending to look like. Maybe they're trees that have never been seen before, and they're the ones you've created, that you've designed for your world, for your place, that you want to put whatever you want in. You can do whatever you like, whatever you want to achieve, you can do it. And just a bit of practice that I've found, a bit of practice on the computer, watch a few people doing stuff and see what they're doing, and then you can play with it and keep thinking about what you want and what you want to do on your picture. And that's basically all I'm doing here. I'm playing around, enjoying myself, thinking, oh, I really want more mist. More mist. You can't get enough mist. I can't get enough mist. I really enjoy it. So yeah, if we take that away, there's a bit of a picture. It was good fun to do, and then you can, like I said, you can go really deep into detail. You could turn those into dragons. You could really detail the mountain and get some reference next to you and look at the way that all the cracks would go down the rock and stuff. And something that I like doing is because you just go a bit darker, and then you could, like if I was gonna go a bit deeper into this picture, which I'm so tempted to do, but I don't want this lesson to be 20 hours. I'd get a really small brush and I'd start like creating all the textures in the rock and stuff, and then I'd look at the reference and I'd start detailing it a bit, and then I would put it on a really low opacity so you can hardly see it because it's quite far away, but that added bit of rock texture just makes it a bit better. But for now I'll leave it like this, and I'll say thanks very much for watching this episode. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope it gave you something to think about. And I'll see you at another one. Cheers, bye.